Today I want to share some of my most used watercolor techniques with you guys. I'm going to break it down into 5 different techniques that you can use, but there are many different ways to use them and even more techniques out there for you guys to try. I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you haven't heard of Skillshare, it's an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, fine art, and more. Lately I've been using Skillshare to learn how to oil paint for the last couple months, and it's honestly made a huge difference. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to all of their classes made by their amazingly skilled teachers. Outside of art, there's also hundreds of classes on social media and business management, which I go to anytime I have questions or want to make sure I'm going in the right direction. So I'm really happy that I have the ability to offer you guys 2 months of free premium access. There's a link in the description where you can sign up for the free trial, but I'll also have a little list of classes that can walk you through some of these techniques we'll be talking about today, and of course other ones. After the first 2 months, Skillshare is extremely affordable at a little less than $10 a month using the annual subscription. Before I get into the video, I also wanted to thank sienamarieart for sending me these amazing paints. This painting was made almost entirely using the paints that you sent me, so thank you. The first technique I want to talk about is what I like to think of as the full blend. I tend to use this one primarily on the first layers to get an idea of where the colors will go and shadows. I like to use a medium-sized soft round brush that can hold a good amount of water for this. If you're curious about the exact tools I'm using, I'll make sure to list everything down in the description along with links where you can find them. The basics of this technique is just fully blending out everything you lay down. Start by laying color down vaguely where you want it. I like to start out pretty light on the first layers. Then after cleaning off your brush, dab off any excess water on a towel so that the brush is damp but not full of water. Then take your brush and follow along the edge of where you put down your paint. Clean your brush and repeat that until you have the edges fully blended out. Alternately, you can get your work area wet and just drop small amounts of colors onto it, again vaguely where you want the color to sit. I tend to stick to the first way because I find it has a little bit more control. The next technique is pretty similar, just a bit less. This one is for more of a soft edge, where you want there to be more of a noticeable finish to where the color sits. I use this for a lot of the shading, like under the eyes, lips, and for shadows on necks and whatnot. It's done pretty much the same way as the last one, except we're not going to blend it out completely. After laying down the color, I'll lightly swipe across the edge with a clean, damp brush, just enough to soften the edge a little bit. I find this works best when you're not working with a big puddle. Technique number 3 is just a plain flat wash. Nothing too special about this one, but they can be a bit difficult if you're not great at controlling the water on your brush and on the page. For this one, you'll need to mix up plenty of paint for your wash ahead of time. I use this one mainly for backgrounds and hair. I really like the look of big solid chunks of color. Thinner washes will flow much easier than thick opaque ones. Once your wash is mixed, start with a fully loaded brush. If you're working on something where this makes sense, it's a bit easier to work from left to right and from the top down if you're right-handed, and from right to left, top to bottom if you're left-handed. Angling your paper so the water can pool at the bottom can help too. The goal is to basically fill the area with an even amount of water and pigment. So working from your starting point, lay your paint down and use your brush to quickly pull the paint down, keeping the edge wet at all times. Refill your brush as needed. When you get to the end, if you have a little puddle, you can dab off your brush and then gently use it to lift up any extra paint. Doing 2 or more layers can give you an extra flat finish, and I usually do that for hair. I'll do 2 or 3 layers.
Yo.
Technique number 4 is bleeding. I use this under eyes and on lips, but it's great for anywhere you want to add some interest. You just lay down water and drop in your pigment, and it'll bloom out. For more control, you can put your color down where you want it, really pigmented, and use the soft edge technique to pull the color out. The last technique I want to share with you is more textured washes. I use these to add depth, mostly towards the end. You can see them a lot on noses or cheeks of my portraits. These are just thin washes of colors that I don't worry about blending fully or at all, that layer on top of each other. They help add more depth to the colors and build shadows, and they're just really nice to look at. All the overlapping colors and the watercolor edges. I didn't get all of the freckles recorded, but one tiny little tip for those is to use different colors. I like to use 3 different colors for freckles. I think it makes a big difference. But that's all I have for you guys today. I'll leave you now to enjoy the rest of the video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. Another big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Sponsors help me be able to put a little bit more time into making content for you guys. Make sure to check out the link if you want to give Skillshare a try. I will see you soon for the next video.